Hey there, fellow coin hunters. What if I told you a regular-looking penny from 1989, one you might have in your pocket right now, could be worth a jaw-dropping $1 million? Sounds like a scam, right? Like one of those Prince of Nigeria emails? But nope, this is 100% real. Today, we're diving into the mystery of the 1989 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny, why it's worth a fortune, how to spot one, and, most importantly, how you can cash in if you're lucky enough to find one. And trust me, you don't want to miss this, because this story involves a little bit of US mint drama, some printing mistakes, and, of course, a whole lot of money. But before we get into all that, let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I was sorting through a jar of old pennies, the kind that just sits in the corner collecting dust and pocket lint. I wasn't expecting much, maybe a wheat penny or two. But then, bam, I saw something weird. The date looked off, and there was no mint mark. My heart started racing. Could this be the penny? I grabbed a magnifying glass, did some research, and turns out it was just a worn-out coin. No jackpot for me. But that moment stuck with me because it proved one thing. Valuable coins are out there, and you never know when you'll find one. Most pennies from 1989 should have a small letter under the date. If it was made in Philadelphia, it won't have a mint mark, which is normal for Philly coins. If it was made in Denver, you'll see a D. And if it was made in San Francisco, it'll have an S. Simple, right? Well, in rare cases, a few Philadelphia pennies were struck with a minting error that made them different from the rest. Instead of being an ordinary 1-cent coin, these special pennies were struck using a special proof die, a die that was never meant for regular circulation. Because of this mistake, the coin has a unique appearance, sharper details, and a much higher value. And if you've got one of these rare misprints, well, congrats, my friend. You're sitting on a potential $1 million payday. All right, so let's say you're digging through your piggy bank and you come across a 1989 penny. How do you know if you've struck gold? Or, well, copper? Unlike normal pennies, these rare ones have an incredibly crisp design. Look closely at Lincoln's beard, hair, and coat. If they look unusually sharp, you might have something special. Some of these error coins were struck with a proof die, meaning they have a shinier, almost reflective surface. Weigh it. A normal 1989 penny should weigh 2.5 grams. If it's significantly different, that could mean it was struck on a different planchet. If your penny checks all these boxes, you're going to want to get it authenticated ASAP. And no, don't take it to your cousin who knows a lot about coins. Send it to PCGS or NGC, the professionals who grade and verify rare coins. Now, you might be thinking, okay, so it's rare, but why $1 million? Well, collectors go crazy for error coins, especially one-of-a-kind mistakes like this. When an error coin is rare, demand goes up. And when demand goes up, so do prices. It's simple economics. My friend point one of these 1989 no-mint mark pennies sold for over $1 million at auction because it was in near-perfect condition and had all the right error traits. This is why checking your spare change is always a good idea. People unknowingly spend rare coins every single day. That cashier at McDonald's? He might have handed you a fortune with your change, and you wouldn't even know it. Check your old jars of coins. If you have rolls of pennies you've never gone through, now's the time. Ask banks for penny rolls. Some of the best finds come straight from bank rolls that go through your grandparents' change. Older family members might have held on to pennies from the 80s without realizing their value. Hit up garage sales and flea markets. People sell off old coin collections all the time without knowing what they have. And hey, if you don't find a 1989 no-mint mark penny, don't be discouraged. There are plenty of other valuable pennies out there. The incredible story of the $1 million penny. The next time you see a 1989 penny, don't just toss it aside. Give it a good look. It could change your life. And if you enjoyed this video, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got plenty more tips on coins worth money, how to spot valuable errors, and how you can turn your spare change into serious cash. And if you've ever found a rare coin, or thought you did, like I did, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your story. All right, picture this. You're digging through an old jar of pennies, maybe looking for some gas money, or just trying to clean out that kitchen drawer that's been a time capsule since 1997. Then you spot a 1969 D penny. And then you remember, didn't some of these sell for crazy money? Like, over $1 million. Well, my friend, If you've got a 1969 D Lincoln penny, you might want to pay attention. Because today, we're talking about one of the most shocking coin values out there, how a penny, yes, a humble 1 cent piece, could be worth up to $1.1 million. But before you start fantasizing about quitting your job and buying a yacht, let's break this down. What makes this coin so special? How do you know if you have the right one? And how can you cash in? Stick around, because I've got some wild facts, some funny stories, and maybe, just maybe, the key to your next big payday. So first things first, why is this little copper coin worth more than a mansion in some parts of the country? The 1969 D Lincoln penny is part of a rare group of error coins. And in the coin world, errors aren't just mistakes, they're jackpots. This particular penny became legendary because of a very specific kind of mistake, a double die obverse. Now, if you're new to collecting, double die sounds like some kind of video game power-up, but it's actually when a coin's design is struck twice by the die, slightly misaligned. It makes the letters and numbers on the front look all fuzzy, like they had one too many at the bar. The 1969 double die pennies that are worth serious cash were struck at the Philadelphia Mint, meaning no D mint mark. That's the big money coin. So if you have a 1969 penny without a mint mark and it has that doubled image, that's when you start calling coin dealers and planning your retirement. Okay, I know what you're thinking. What about the 1969 D penny? You came here because you heard one sold for $1.1 million, right? Well, let me clear this up before anyone flips their entire coin collection onto the floor in excitement. The actual 1969 D penny, as in the one with the Denver mint mark, is not the $1 million coin. The one that hit the big bucks was the 1969 no mint mark double die penny. But before you click away in disappointment, don't worry, your 1969 D penny can still be valuable. High-grade versions of the 1969 D penny, especially in MS-67 condition or better, have sold for hundreds, even thousands of dollars at auction. And if it's got a dramatic mint error, like an off-center strike or it could break, then you could still be looking at a nice payday. Now, if you're staring at a 1969 D penny right now, squinting at it under a lamp, here's what to look for. Coins in uncirculated or near-perfect shape are worth the most. If it looks like it's been through a vending machine war, not so much. Look for things like missing letters, extra metal, or any kind of weird doubling. If you think you have a rare one, get it checked by a professional. Don't just assume, get it graded by PCGS or NGC to confirm. Now, let me tell you about the time I thought I hit the jackpot. A few years ago, I was helping my grandpa clean out his attic, and we found an old coffee can full of pennies. I mean, it was like a pirate's treasure chest, but instead of gold, it was all copper and lint. I see a 1969 penny. No mint mark. I start sweating. My hands are shaking. I'm already planning my vacation. I rush to get my magnifying glass, because I'm a serious collector, and serious collectors own magnifying glasses, and guess what? No doubling. Just a regular old 1969 penny worth exactly 1 cent. Coin collecting is a roller coaster. But it's also a blast, because you never know when you'll find something valuable. The 1969 no mint mark double die penny is the one worth over $1.1 million. The 1969 D penny isn't a millionaire. But in high grades or with certain errors, it can still be worth good money. Because even if you don't find a $1 million penny, you could still come across something valuable. And if you love hunting for hidden treasures in your pocket change, you're in the right place. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because I'm always dropping videos on coins worth money, strategies for building a valuable collection, and stories from collectors just like you. Who knows? Maybe next time, it'll be your penny that's worth a fortune. All right, folks, imagine this. You're digging through your couch cushions, looking for a lost remote, and instead, you pull out a dusty old penny. You think, just another 1 cent wonder. But what if I told you that one single penny, just like the one in your hand, could be worth a staggering $1.20 million? Yeah, you heard that right. A $1 million penny. And no, this isn't one of those get-rich-quick schemes where you have to sell your soul or trade your grandma's antique tea set. This is real. Today, we're talking about the legendary 1982 no mint mark Lincoln penny, one of the rarest and most valuable coins floating around in spare change. Now, before you go sprinting to your piggy bank like a lunatic, sit tight. I'm gonna break down what makes this coin special, how to spot one, and why the heck it's worth more than a sports car. Plus, I'll share a little story about the time I thought I struck it rich, only to get a rude reality check. So grab a cup of coffee, kick back, and let's dive in. The mystery behind the 1982 no-mint mark penny. First things first, what's the big deal with this penny? Well, in 1982, the U.S. Mint was making some major changes. That year, they switched from solid copper pennies to zinc with a copper coating to save money. If you remember gas prices in the 80s, you know every penny counted. Now, most 1982 pennies have a little letter under the date showing where they were made, either a D for Denver or no mark at all, meaning it was made in Philadelphia. But here's the kicker. There's a very specific error version of this penny that has no mint mark but was accidentally made using a rare die. And that's what collectors are going absolutely nuts over. So, how do you know if you've got the golden ticket disguised as a humble penny? This means it was made in Philadelphia, but not just any Philly penny will do. It's got to have that specific rare die. This is crucial. If it's a lighter 2.5-gram penny, it's a zinc version, and sorry, you're not retiring early. Some pennies from this year have weak or blurry strikes, but this rare one is crisp and clean. Easiest way to check? Drop it on a table. Copper pennies make a nice ringing sound, while zinc ones sound dull. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why would anyone pay $1 million for a penny? Well, my friends, that's the beauty of coin collecting. This particular penny is rare, so rare that only one confirmed specimen has been found so far. And when something is one of a kind, collectors will pay top dollar to own it. Think of it like baseball cards. A regular old card might be worth 5 cents, but if it's a rare misprint featuring Babe Ruth with a mustache, boom, instant fortune. All right, so let me tell you about the time I thought I was about to join the Millionaires Club. A few years back, I was going through a giant jar of pennies because, that's what us coin nerds do for fun on a Saturday night. And suddenly, I spot a 1982 no-mint mark penny. My heart started racing. I grabbed my scale, waited, and it was 3.11 grams. I was already picturing my dream house, a new car, maybe even an island. But then I checked it again and realized I had misread the date. It was a 1983. Nothing brings you back down to earth faster than thinking you've got $1 million coin, only to realize it's worth exactly 1 cent. But hey, that's the thrill of the hunt. And that's why you should always double-check your coins. Check your change. That penny in your pocket could be worth a fortune. And even if you don't find this $1 million beauty, there are plenty of other valuable coins out there waiting to be discovered. If you want more tips on spotting rare coins, learning insider coin collecting strategies, and making money from your spare change, you need to hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you don't want to miss out on the next big coin worth money. If you do find a 1982 no-mint mark penny, don't forget who told you about it first. Maybe send me a postcard from your yacht. Hey there, fellow coin enthusiasts and curious minds. Welcome back to our channel, Big Coins Dealer, where we dive deep into the jingling pockets of history to uncover treasures that might just be hiding in plain sight. Today, we're zooming in on a coin that could turn your piggy bank into a gold mine, the 1994 Lincoln penny with no mint mark. Could this humble cent really be worth a whopping $1.3 million? Grab your magnifying glasses, and let's find out. First things first, let's talk about the 1994 Lincoln penny. In 1994, the U.S. Mint in Philadelphia produced over 6.5 billion pennies. Yes, billion with a B. These coins typically don't bear a mint mark, which is standard for pennies minted in Philly. In circulated condition, these pennies are usually worth their face value, just 1 cent. U.S. Coins Guide. But wait, before you dump that jar of pennies back into circulation, there's more to the story. While most 1994 pennies won't make you rich, certain factors can skyrocket their value. For instance, a 1994 penny graded MS68RD, that's Mint State 68 with red color designation, fetched $646 at auction in 2013. Even more astonishing, some sources suggest that a pristine 1994 penny without a mint mark could be worth up to $13,000. Now, you might be wondering, what's the big deal about a missing mint mark? Typically, U.S. coins feature a mint mark indicating where they were produced, P for Philadelphia, D for Denver, and S for San Francisco. However, pennies from the Philadelphia Mint traditionally lack a mint mark. So, a 1994 penny without a mint mark isn't an error, it's the norm. All right, let's address the elephant in the room, or rather, the penny in the jar. Rumors have circulated about a 1994 no-mint mark Lincoln penny fetching $1.3 million. As much as we'd all love to find $1 million penny under our couch cushions, there's no verified record of such a sale. The highest known auction prices for 1994 pennies are in the hundreds to low thousands, depending on their condition and unique characteristics. While a standard 1994 penny might not make you a millionaire, error coins are a different ballgame. Mule errors, where a coin is struck with mismatched dies, can be incredibly valuable. For example, a 1999 Lincoln penny with a mule error sold for $138,000 in 2006. So, always keep an eye out for anomalies. Let me share a quick story. A few years back, I was rummaging through my grandfather's old coin collection. Amidst the usual suspects, I found a penny that looked different. Turns out, it was a 1955 double-die penny, a famous error coin. That little discovery funded my entire summer vacation. So, never underestimate the power of pocket change. In conclusion, while the average 1994 no mint mark Lincoln penny won't buy you more than a piece of gum, exceptional specimens and error coins can be worth a pretty penny, pun intended. So, next time you get change, take a moment to inspect those coins. You never know, you might just strike copper or gold. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of coin collecting and want to uncover more hidden treasures in your everyday life, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. Share your own coin discoveries in the comments below, and let's turn that spare change into share change. Keep collecting, keep exploring, and remember, every coin tells a story. All right, folks, let's talk about something that might just change your life, or at least your wallet. Imagine digging through your old change jar, pulling out a regular OL penny, and realizing it's worth a whopping $1.40 million. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. Come on, a penny? Really? But let me tell you, this isn't some wild internet rumor. This is real, and it all comes down to the 1993 Lincoln penny. Now, before you start tearing up your couch cushions looking for one, let me break it down for you. Why is this penny worth more than a mansion? How can you tell if you have one? And most importantly, where can you sell it for that sweet, sweet cash? Stick with me, because we're diving deep into the hidden fortune sitting in your pocket change. All right, let's get one thing straight. Most 1993 pennies are just that. Pennies. Worth a cent, maybe 5 if you find a really generous collector. But then there's the legendary $1.4 million version. It all comes down to a minting error. You see, the US Mint is pretty good at what they do, but even they make mistakes. And in 1993, they made a big one that turned a plain old penny into a jackpot. What to look for in a $1.4 million penny now, if you're like me. The last thing you want is to spend hours staring at every penny under a microscope. But trust me, it's worth it. If it doesn't have a D under the date, forget it. This one was struck at some of these pennies have a noticeable doubling in the lettering or Lincoln's profile. Look closely at Liberty and In God We Trust. Some 1993 pennies were accidentally struck on a bronze planchet instead of zinc. This gives them if your penny looks like it's been through a lawnmower, it's not going to be worth millions. The big money versions are in top shape, what collectors call mint state. How my own coin hunt turned into a comedy show now, let me tell you a quick story. A while back, after hearing about these rare pennies, I got a little too excited. I dumped out every penny I owned on my kitchen table, my couch, even the floor of my car. I was knee-deep in copper. My wife walked in and just stared at me like I'd lost my mind. I held up a penny and said, "This could be the one." She rolled her eyes and said, "Yeah, and I could be married to a millionaire, but here we are." Spoiler alert, I didn't find the $1 million penny, but I did find a couple of interesting errors worth a few bucks. And guess what? That's how it starts. One little discovery leads to another, and before you know it, you're the guy everyone calls when they find weird-looking change. Where to sell a valuable 1993 penny. So, let's say you actually hit the jackpot and find one of these rare pennies. Where do you cash in? Heritage auctions, Stax Bowers, or great collections can get you the best price. Get it authenticated by PCGS or NGC before selling. Nobody's dropping $1.4 million on a penny unless it's legit. You might get lucky, but auctions usually bring the biggest payouts. Other valuable pennies to watch for. Even if you don't find the golden ticket of pennies, there are plenty of others worth real money. All right, guys, let's be real. Most of us don't expect to get rich from spare change. But finding a rare coin? That's like winning the lottery, except you don't even have to buy a ticket. The next time you get a handful of pennies, take a second to check. That one little cent could change your life. Now, if you like this video and want more tips on valuable coins, make sure to subscribe. I've got plenty more coin collecting strategies coming your way. And who knows? The next rare penny I talk about might be sitting in your pocket right now. All right, folks, let me ask you something. When's the last time you actually looked at your pocket change? No, I don't mean just grabbing a quarter for the parking meter. I mean really looking. Because if you've got a 1985 penny lying around, you might just be holding onto a small fortune. Yeah, I'm talking about a humble little Lincoln cent that could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.50 million. Sounds crazy, right? A penny that's worth more than a house? Well, stick with me because we're diving deep into what makes this coin so special, how to spot one, and why collectors are willing to shell out big bucks for it. And trust me, after this, you're never going to look at a penny the same way again. And I'll also share a little story about the time I almost spent a rare coin on a gas station hot dog. Yeah, we all make mistakes. Okay, so let's start with the basics. The 1985 Lincoln penny was minted in Denver, and for the most part, it looks like every other penny from that year. Same copper-plated zinc composition, same good Abraham Lincoln staring off into the distance. Nothing fancy, right? There's a rare error on some of these pennies that makes them incredibly valuable. We're talking about a major double-die error. Basically, the design was struck twice, but slightly misaligned. This creates a doubling effect that's visible, especially in the lettering and the date. Now, before you start flipping every penny in your house, let me tell you what to look for. The word Liberty should have noticeable doubling. The date 1985 should have a clear doubled effect. Some coins even show doubling on Lincoln's eye and Bodie because this error wasn't caught right away. A handful of these pennies slipped into circulation. That means one could be sitting in a jar on your kitchen counter right now. Now, I know what you're thinking. Okay, a doubling error. But why is it worth more than my car? The better shape it's in, the more money it's worth. A mint condition 1985 double die penny is where the $1.5 million price tag comes in. Demand. Collectors love error coins, and when you mix rarity with high demand, prices skyrocket. Just to put this into perspective, a regular 1985 penny? It's worth, well, a penny. But a 1985 with this rare doubling error? That's a different story. One of these recently made headlines after selling for over $1.5 million at auction. Yep, some lucky person probably found it in their pocket and cashed in big time. Now, let me share a little cautionary tale with you. A while back, I was digging through my change and found a weird-looking penny. Something about it seemed off, but I was in a hurry and didn't think much of it. Fast forward a few hours, and I'm at a gas station. I grab a hot dog, some chips, and a soda. The total? A few bucks. I reach into my pocket, pull out some change, and, yep, you guessed it. That strange-looking penny was in the mix. I was this close to handing it over. But then, at the last second, something in my brain went, hold up, maybe check that penny first. So I did. And let me tell you, my jaw hit the floor when I realized I had been about to spend a coin worth hundreds of dollars on a hot dog that, let's be honest, probably wouldn't have even been that good. So, there you have it. The 1985 Lincoln penny, a simple, everyday coin that could be hiding in plain sight, just waiting to turn someone into a millionaire. If you've got a jar of pennies collecting dust, now's the time to start digging. Who knows? Maybe you've got a rare one just waiting to be discovered. And hey, if you enjoyed this video and want more tips on spotting coins worth serious money, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. I've got plenty more insider coin collecting secrets coming your way, and you don't want to miss out. Now, go check your change and don't spend your fortune on gas station hot dogs. There, fellow coin enthusiasts. Imagine this. You're digging through your pocket change, and you stumble upon a penny that's worth a whopping $1.6 million. Sounds like a dream, right? Well, hold on to your hats, because today we're diving into the fascinating world of the 2013 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. We'll explore its value, debunk some myths, and share some laughs along the way. So, let's get started. You know that feeling when you find a crumpled dollar bill in your old jeans? Now, imagine that times a million, literally. The coin we're talking about today is rumored to have fetched $1.6 million at auction. But is there any truth to this tale? Or is it just another urban legend? Let's roll up our sleeves and find out. First things first, let's talk about what a no-mint mark penny is. In the US, coins are minted at various locations, and each mint adds its unique mark to the coins it produces. For example, pennies from Denver have a D mint mark, and those from San Francisco sport an S. However, pennies minted in Philadelphia traditionally don't have a mint mark, so a 2013 penny without a mint mark simply means it was produced in Philly. How much is this penny worth? According to sources like Silver Recyclers, most 2013 pennies in circulated condition are worth, drumroll, please, their face value of 1 cent. That's right. If you've got one jingling in your pocket, it's probably worth exactly what you think. However, if you have a 2013 penny in uncirculated condition, meaning it hasn't been used in everyday transactions, it might fetch a bit more. Such coins can be worth around 30 cents in an MS65 grade, which is a fancy way of saying it's in near-perfect condition. So, where did this $1.6 million figure come from? Well, there was indeed a penny that sold for a staggering amount, but it wasn't a 2013 no-mint mark penny. Back in 2010, a rare 1943 penny mistakenly struck in bronze at the Denver Mint sold for $1.7 million. During World War II, pennies were supposed to be made from zinc-coated steel to conserve copper, but a few bronze blanks got through, creating these valuable errors. While your 2013 penny might not make you a millionaire, certain errors can increase its value. This occurs when the die strikes the planchet multiple times at slightly different angles, resulting in a doubling of the inscriptions and designs. A 2013 D penny with such an error-graded MS60 fetched $215 at auction. Sometimes, a penny is struck on a planchet meant for another coin, like a dime. A 2013 D penny with this error-graded MS64 sold for $1,050. This happens when the coin is struck outside the collar, causing it to be larger and thinner than usual. A 2013 P penny with this error-graded MS62 sold for $555. Let me share a little story. A few years ago, I was at a garage sale and found a jar of old coins. Among them was a shiny penny that looked a bit odd. My heart raced as I thought, could this be one of those rare error coins? I rushed home, did some research, and it turned out to be a regular penny someone had polished. Lesson learned, not all that glitters is gold or valuable copper. So, what's the takeaway here? While the 2013 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny is a neat piece of pocket change, it's not going to fund your dream vacation. However, always keep an eye out for those rare errors. You never know when you might strike it rich. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of pennies and want to learn more about coins that could be worth more than their face value, hit that subscribe button. Join our community of coin enthusiasts, and let's uncover the hidden treasures in our pockets together. Don't forget to like, share, and leave a comment about your own coin discoveries. Hey folks, let me ask you something. When was the last time you actually looked at the pennies jingling around in your pocket? No, I don't mean just grabbing a handful to dump in that giant jar on your dresser. I mean really looked at them. Because if you've got a 1978 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, you might be holding on to a coin worth, get this, $1.7 million. Yeah, you heard that right. A single penny could be worth more than a mansion, a Ferrari, and a lifetime supply of cheeseburgers. And you know what's wild? Most people have no clue they might have one. Now, I know what you're thinking. Come on, a 1978 penny? I've got a ton of those. What makes this one special? Well, sit tight, because today we're diving deep into this rare and valuable coin. I'll break down exactly what to look for, why it's so valuable, and how you can cash in if you find one. Plus, I'll throw in a personal story about the time I almost lost a valuable coin in the dumbest way possible. So, grab a cup of coffee, pull out that jar of spare change, and let's go treasure hunting. All right. So let's talk about this legendary 1978 penny. First off, most pennies from that year were struck in Philadelphia, no mint mark, Denver, D, or San Francisco, S. But here's the kicker. There's a rare error penny from the Philadelphia Mint that's missing its mint mark entirely. And not just any missing mint mark. This one comes from a unique die that created an ultra-rare version of the penny. That means if you've got a 1978 penny with no mint mark, you might be looking at a small copper disc that's worth more than a Rolls-Royce. But before you start spending that imaginary $1.7 million, let's make sure you've actually got the real deal. No mint mark. Most 1978 pennies from Philly don't have a mint mark, But the valuable one has a specific bold strike with crisp lettering and a clear rim. If it looks worn down, it's probably just a regular penny. Sharp details on Lincoln's hair and coat. This coin was struck with extra detail compared to standard pennies. If Honest Abe looks like he just stepped out of the barber shop with a fresh cut, you're onto something. Regular 1978 pennies weigh 3.11 grams, but some rare errors have minor weight variations due to minting mistakes. If yours feels a little off, you might need a scale. Some of these valuable pennies have printing errors that make them even rarer. If Lincoln's face looks like he's got a shadow, that's a double die. Okay, here's where things get crazy. A collector recently shelled out $1.7 million for one of these bad boys. Why? Because coin collectors love rare errors, and the 1978 no-mint mark penny with these specific features is almost impossible to find in mint condition. It's like finding a vintage baseball card signed by Babe Ruth. Only there's just one or two known to exist. Now, let me tell you a quick story about the time I almost lost a valuable coin. A few years back, I was sorting through a box of old coins, and I came across a super rare wheat penny from the 1940s. I didn't think much of it at first, just tossed it into my pocket. Later that day, I stopped at a gas station for coffee. I'm fumbling through my pocket for change, grab a couple of pennies, and almost hand one over to the cashier. But right before I drop it into her hand, I freeze. Something told me to double-check. Yeah, I almost bought a $2 cup of coffee with a coin worth more than my rent. Lesson learned. Always check your spare change. So if you've got a 1978 penny sitting around, do not just toss it into the nearest tip jar. Give it a good look. You might be sitting on a small fortune. All right, folks, that's the scoop on the insanely rare and valuable 1978 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. If you've got one, you could be looking at a life-changing payday. And if not, don't worry. There are tons of valuable coins still floating around out there. Next time you get some change back, don't just shove it in your pocket. Check it. You never know when you might strike gold. Well, copper in this case. And if you enjoyed this video and want more tips on coins worth money and how to find them, hit that subscribe button. I've got plenty more stories, strategies, and coin hunting secrets coming your way.